Do you remember being a kid when summer holidays felt like they stretched on forever? Birthdays and Christmases seemed to take an eternity to arrive, and a single school year felt like a lifetime. But now, as an adult, it's completely different. Weeks just vanish. Months blur into one another, and before you know it, another year has flown by. It's a feeling most of us share. But what's really going on? Did time actually speed up, or did something inside your brain change? The truth is, we don't experience time directly. We don't have a clock in our heads that ticks at a constant rate. Instead, our perception of time is constructed from our memories. Think about it. Your sense of a day, a week, or a year is really just a collection of moments and events that your brain has recorded. The more your brain remembers, the longer that period of time feels. The fewer memories it records, the shorter it feels. This simple idea is the key to understanding why time seems to accelerate as we get older. When you're a child, almost everything is new. Every day is an adventure filled with novel experiences. You're constantly discovering new places, meeting new people, learning new skills, and feeling new emotions. Your brain is in a state of high alert, soaking it all in like a sponge. It has to work hard to process and store this flood of new information, creating a rich and dense tapestry of memories. A trip to the park, a new friend at school, the taste of a new food. Each of these experiences is a distinct and vivid memory, because your childhood is packed with so many of these unique memory files. The timeline feels incredibly long and detailed when you look back on it. Now, contrast that with adult life. For many of us, our days become highly routine. We wake up at the same time, commute the same way, work on similar tasks, and relax with the same evening patterns. We see the same faces, go to the same places, and scroll through the same screens. This predictability is efficient. Our brain loves efficiency. It learns the patterns and switches to autopilot. Instead of actively recording every detail of your morning commute, your brain says, "I've seen this 1,000 times before," and it stops creating new, distinct memories. It compresses the routine. Days, weeks, and even months of similar experiences get bundled together into a single, generic memory file. When you look back, there's not much to distinguish one Tuesday from the next, so the entire period feels short and compressed. This is why novelty is so powerful. It acts as a brake on our perception of time. Think about your last vacation. Even if it was just for a week, it probably feels longer in your memory than the entire month of routine work that came before it. Why? Because on vacation, everything was new. The sights, the sounds, the food, the schedule, it was all different. Your brain was forced off autopilot and had to start recording again. It was wide awake, processing a stream of fresh data. This is novelty, slowing down your perception of time. Your daily routine, on the other hand, is your brain on autopilot. And that's when time feels like it's slipping through your fingers. When life becomes predictable, time starts to blur. There's another major factor at play, which psychologists call the proportionality theory. It's about perspective. When you're 5 years old, 1 year is a massive 20% of your entire life. It's a huge, significant chunk of your existence. So, waiting 1 year for your next birthday feels like an absolute eternity. But when you're 50, 1 year is just 2% of your life. It's a much smaller, almost insignificant fraction of your total experience. Our brains don't measure time in absolute units like hours or days. They measure it relatively. Each year that passes becomes a smaller and smaller proportion of our total life lived, making it feel shorter and shorter. Attention also plays a crucial role. When you are fully present and engaged in an activity, your perception of time tends to slow down. Think of a moment of intense focus, or even a frightening event like a near-miss. People often report that time seemed to move in slow motion. This is because your brain is paying maximum attention, processing every tiny detail. The opposite is also true. When your attention is divided, when you're multitasking, scrolling on your phone while watching TV, or just lost in thought, time slips away unnoticed. You look up and wonder where the last hour went. In our modern, distraction-filled lives. Our attention is constantly being pulled in a dozen different directions, which contributes to this feeling of time disappearing. As we age, our brains also become more efficient in another way. Through decades of experience, our brain gets incredibly good at predicting reality. It builds mental models of how the world works. So, when it encounters a familiar situation, it doesn't need to process all the sensory information from scratch. It just checks to see if things match its prediction. If they do, it skips the details and moves on. It's like watching a movie you've already seen. You know what's going to happen, so your brain doesn't pay as much attention. This cognitive efficiency means our brains are processing our daily lives faster and with less detail. Life feels faster because our brain is, in a sense, fast-forwarding through the predictable parts. It compresses the experience. So, what can we do about it? You can't actually slow down the clock on the wall. Time itself is constant, but you can change your perception of it. You can make time feel longer, richer, and more meaningful. The secret, as we've seen, is to fight back against routine and autopilot. Seek out novelty. This doesn't mean you have to quit your job and travel the world, though that would certainly work. It can be as simple as breaking your daily routines. Take a different route to work. Try a new recipe for dinner. Pick up a new hobby or learn a new skill, like playing an instrument or speaking a new language. Learning forces your brain to create new neural pathways and new memories. Change your environment. Even rearranging the furniture in your room can be enough to jolt your brain out of its slumber. And most importantly, practice being present. Put your phone away. Pay full attention to the conversation you're having, the meal you're eating, or the walk you're taking. Engage all your senses. This conscious attention is the raw material for strong memories, and it's strong memories that stretch our perception of time. In the end, time doesn't really speed up. Your brain just gets better at compressing it. By understanding how your mind perceives time, you gain the power to influence it. By consciously choosing novelty, breaking routines, and living more presently, you can fill your life with more memorable moments. You can stretch out the years and make your life feel as long and full as it truly is. Thanks for watching Explanora. Complex ideas simply explained.